We've had some 40 applications, of which 2 have now been fully licensed. We have another 5 who are in principal license, so those firms are working their way through their conditions on their in principal license, and once they meet those licenses will also be granted. And then we'll get into the next wave of in principal licensees with their conditions, and they will all begin to get. So it's a long-term process. I wish it was quicker, but these things take time. It's a new nascent industry, as you've just said. The Commission, the Financial Services Commission, needs to get comfortable with what these firms are doing. Some of them are very good at technology and not so good at corporate governance. So they are helping them through this process to be licensed. And I think we'll end up with some fantastic firms setting up, operating their DLT businesses from Gibraltar, which is fantastic.
Some of the big Israeli firms who spoke to us a few weeks ago described Gibraltar's licensing regime as tough and lengthy, but they welcome that because they believe they're in safe hands. So is that the reputation that we're going for, tough but robust?
Yes, absolutely. By having regulation, period, you're going to have quality firms that want to be regulated. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is by having a rigorous and robust approach, which the Financial Services Commission do have, we are being even more careful that the people that are coming through are hitting the high standards and the high bars that we are setting. You know, you mentioned Israel, eToro, which is a huge firm in this space, have got their in-principle license. Huobi from Asia, a huge firm. I mean, these guys are employing between 500 and 800 people each. And so these are big, chunky businesses which are already established and seeking to come to Gibraltar to be regulated in this quality and environment to progress their businesses, giving them the legal and regulatory certainty that they're looking for, which we are providing for them.
Does this mean there will be a knock-on effect on employment opportunities?
One of the key criteria of the regulator is that these people have to have mind and management in Gibraltar. We're not having brass plating. Gibraltar's never done that, whether in gaming or anything else. So these firms will have to set up with offices, with people here on the ground running those businesses from here. So yes, it will create employment. It will create economic activity. You just have to ask the lawyers and the accountants the amount of activity that's been created for them these past 12 to 18 months, and you'll see that we are generating real commercial activity in Gibraltar in this space.
Gibraltar is the first jurisdiction to introduce a regulatory framework for this area of business, but is there a chance that there are some other jurisdictions out there who might look at what Gibraltar is doing and say, we want a piece of that action, and eventually they could catch up?
There's no question. There are already other jurisdictions looking at what we're doing. Some are doing it in similar ways, some in slightly different ways. And that is why our work is to push harder now than ever before. So Gib Day in London, there were a number of events around that on blockchain. As you know, we were in Israel together a couple of weeks back. We were in Lithuania before that. We're in Washington next week, San Francisco the week after. And as I've said publicly when I speak, we don't believe what we've done is perfect. And so we're watching, we're seeing how different standards evolve in different parts of the world, and we will seek to improve what we do all the time to stay ahead.